What is the third most populous country after India and China?
Brazil.
Populous?
Indonesia.
We phone a friend.
Here, the U.S.
Right now, it's the third most populous.
Third most populous country.
Although the U.S. isn't the fastest growing country, with only about 1% growth, it is the highest in the industrialized world. After including net migration, the U.S. grows by about 2.7 million people each year. But the problem goes beyond these numbers.
If everybody worldwide lived American lifestyles today, it would take about close to 6 planets like Earth to regenerate all the resources we consume in the United States and to absorb the according waste. And that would be the entire planets, leaving nothing for other species. It's a model that is not globally replicable. Of course, some areas can use more than what their areas can regenerate because of trade, but not all countries can replicate this model of being net importers of ecological services. Just physically, mathematically, doesn't add up. The lifestyle of average residents in India could be replicated around the world, possibly even at a population size of about 8 billion people, but that means eating much, much lower on the food chain with very little extra energy to either heat or cool houses or to drive cars around.
We've got to set an example and stop our own population growth if we're going to have any moral basis for lecturing to the people in other countries and say, you've got to stop your population growth.
The rich countries broadly rot, pointing to the poor countries and saying, the problem is population growth. You should get your populations under control. The poor countries saying, no, the problem is inequity, and you should get your overconsumption under control. So here this kind of fight goes on. The solution we have is, okay, grow like us. We have fetishized, we have worshipped, we have created an ideology out of growth that has now taken over our economic planning and development.
Our economy has grown highly dependent on people, or more precisely, on consumers. It always needs more to sustain its endless appetite for growth, and always manages to find more of us. We became its lifeblood.
The people who are promoting growth are the people who make the profits from it. You know, the one thing that people don't understand, and the developers like to hide, is that the growth never pays for itself. Your taxes have to go up to pay the cost of this growth.
Local officials still sort of see all growth as good. Research has shown that sprawl ends up costing more money than it will ever bring in. You know, you need more police and more parks and more fire departments and more schools and expanding the sewer system, another water treatment plant probably, more everything.
If the growth was paying for itself, there'd be money in the bank to pay for a downturn in the economy, to keep the state government going, but that hasn't happened. Everyone, the cities, the states, are all turning to the federal government to get money from the feds because the federal people don't have any responsible limit on the appropriations and on their budgets. And so what we're having then is essentially a Ponzi scheme in which you have people contributing every year, which goes to the benefit of a few people, but it means that the taxes have to go up for everybody.